So yesterday on your radio show, you're talking about cleaning up mental mistakes. What are some of those mental mistakes that you're talking about?
There's a lot. I mean, there's a lot. There's a pump block that we should have blocked. We had a guy aligned in the wrong gap. I mean, there's a multitude of plays on both sides of the ball where you got a guy, eyeing this instead of this, and the targets of where we want to hit in the run game. Some of the protection things, some of the young backs have to do a better job with. Matt on his reads, he missed an easy one on a third down. I mean, there's just a ton of little things throughout the game. Some of them didn't even hurt us, but some of them could have been first downs, could have been big plays. And so it's just taking advantage of lining up right, getting your eyes right, and executing.
Is that something that kind of gets cleaned up from first game to second game? You just kind of get that experience, and it's a little bit more second nature now?
Well, it should be. Again, it's second game in college for some of these guys, and they're going to see looks that they've never seen because obviously our opponent's not going to just show us everything they showed the last team. They're going to make adjustments. So, it's the ability to take your systems, offense, defense, and special teams, and adjust on the fly. And sometimes that's hard for a young player to do. And so you hope that you clean up anything that was wrong a week ago, and then there's going to be new things that they have to adjust to.
Does that mean to your sell when you win a game that you can ride them harder and say, hey, you won, but that's still not good enough?
Yeah, I mean, we had a lot of things to be hard on them with after that win, and we were demanding. And, our theme of the week's compete. We're competing to be a better version of us than we were a week ago. And that's the goal for this football team more than any that I've had here is we have to improve every week to have a chance, because we are so young. And our version of us can be so much better as we go if we take that approach.
You're able to play a lot of true freshmen. Anything about year 2 of the 4-game rule that you've made adjustments for?
No, I mean, last year I really liked it. I mean, we had some guys that were injured, we couldn't play, but we played, any of the redshirt guys that were healthy played in 4 games. And it's helped their confidence. It's not their first time playing in a football game, and we'll do the same thing. We're going to play all of them 4 games if we can, and some of them have proven that they'll play in all of the games if they're healthy. But you have to, in my opinion, take advantage of that. I think it really helps those guys. And sometimes they become so much more confident after you do it that you might have thought this is a kid we were going to redshirt, and now he leaps. And that happened last year with Tayshawn Smith. He was a guy that early on wasn't ready at all. And as the season progressed, he got better and better because of some of the special teams reps he took.
Joshua Harris and C.J. Clark both listed on the 2 deep earlier this week. Where do they stand at this point going into this weekend?
They're not ready yet. They're getting there. We were hoping we'd have Josh for this game. He's just not ready yet. But as the season progresses, I mean, they're getting close. They're running. They're lifting. They're doing all those types of things. We just got to get them back into football.
How much would having the 2 of them change the defense? Obviously, moving to a lot of 3-3-5 this past week, but would you feel a little bit more comfortable with the D tackle spot if you had the 2 of them?
It'll help our depth. I mean, whether we go back to 4 down or not will depend on how they can play. I mean, just because we have them doesn't mean we use them, and they have to prove that they deserve to be out there. So, but it does give us 2 more able bodies to do more things with, and hopefully with their size, it gives us that inside depth that we're missing right now.
How are the young receivers, Devin and Josiah, and Max is the other one, who are getting a little bit more reps now that they're going to be playing more? How do they look this week, and are they ready to take on that role?
They're excited for the opportunity. I think Max had a really good week. Devin's been very consistent all the way through camp, and so I expect him to be ready to take on that role. Josiah's the one that really needs to take the next step for us, and dropping that pass, I know he's ready to make up for that. So a bad experience, but a good one for him to be able to learn from and get better.
Did Tabari basically show, he gets tagged slot receiver, but clearly to make plays on the outside too,
Well,
which is not needed.
I mean, the thing that you love about Tabari is his football knowledge. He can play any position. He knows the entire offense, which is really impressive, for a guy that came in as late as he did. And he's a very competitive guy. He's got a lot of energy on game day. He's just so excited to be playing. And so it gives us a utility player that can fit a lot of different gaps for us on offense.
They're not the same size or athletic-wise, but does Tanner Engel remind you of Josh Jones at all?
As far as their playing styles, yes. Tanner and Josh were both very quick contact players and can make up for other people's mistakes pretty quickly. And so it's nice having that, it gives you an eraser back there, and from a big play standpoint, they're able to get some things on the ground that might be bigger plays if somebody else was in the game.
Josh had a year where he had to learn from it, some of his mistakes. Do you think Tanner has taken that same type of approach to how his season ended last year and how this one seems to have started?
Yeah, and Tanner, got thrown into the fire last year. and gave up some plays, you know, and so he's been burned and had to learn from it and deal with failure, and I think that helps. I know it motivated him, you know, he changed his body in a good way, not that he was ever overweight, but he's really leaned up and it's helped his speed. And, you know, I think the more you play this game, the more lessons you have on film to study yourself, the better you get.
How closely have you guys been watching the Storm as far as not for the game, but for families and of your players that are from that region?
Very closely, you know, and not just for the guys that are on our team, but we have a lot of friends and family from the team, from the coaching staff. You know, we know thousands of coaches that live in those areas, and so we're monitoring it as closely as we can. And you know, like I said in my press conference, you know, there's a lot of prayer from this state towards all the other ones that are getting it.
You guys have to address that with the team as far as trying not to be, they're going to be thinking about what's going on a little bit leading up to this game if they're from some of those regions that may get hit today.
Yeah, I know our position coaches have, you know, in their meetings talked with all their guys about it, and we've been through this unfortunately now. You know, it seems like a yearly thing, so our guys kind of know how to handle it and who they can go to on our staff, and you know, we'll see where it goes this week.